What's up, everybody? I'm Camarray.
And I'm Zaiah, and this is the Music Report Card, where albums are reviewed based on the vocals, lyrics,
the production, and the sonic vibe, or the flow. You know what I'm saying? It's too long, too short, all that good stuff. Hey, man.
Who are we reviewing today, Camarray?
Huh? Thank you, guys. Woo! We are reviewing my favorite artist of all time, Miss Brandy, Rihanna, Slayana, you know.
Of course, y'all know we have to give you news.
Yes, let's go ahead and talk about the news.
So, Beyonce releases Black is King, which is a visual album. I watched it, and at first, I wasn't impressed at first. There was just a lot going on, but I did get into it a little more, and I like the part where they kind of talked a little bit about just Black men and women in general, and knowing, because I've always been someone, first I want to say this, I've always been someone who has always said there's so much history in the blood of an African American, which some people don't agree with us being called African Americans. They want to use Black or brown people or whatever it is. But there's so much history in our blood, and so many people have died, and so many things have transpired for us to be here. So watching the film, as I got a little further into it, I did actually end up enjoying it and kind of getting the whole point of us just learning to love ourselves. Is really what I got from it all. It's just like learning to love ourselves. What did you think about it?
Well, I will say this. I know I saw an interview where Beyonce was basically saying she wanted to kind of reintroduce or redefine what it is to be Black and make it not so, I don't know the word, but like so harsh or such a bad thing. I think she really did. One thing that I will say is I think that, you cannot knock Beyonce as a performer. The visuals were out freaking standing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The dance moves. I always love when she like really connects with the people of the culture that she's dancing with.
Mm-hmm.
I know she did that with Run the World way back in the day. And I feel like she really wants to not just give us like a glossed over version of what they do in their country, but she really wants to really kind of educate and really introduce these new dances and these new cultures to the world. And I think she really did that. One thing I will say is that I don't know. I love Beyonce with like all my heart. She's my number 2 after Brandy. But I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like she's starting to become, and I guess it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. It's like a gift and a curse. But I feel like she's becoming a little money hungry, because the fact that she rebranded this album that she put out last, I think it was July, from The Lion King, and then put one new song on it, which she had already released a couple weeks ago, Black Parade, and then is trying to like repackage it as if it's this new thing just because it has a visual album. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it's starting to become less about less about the art and the what she can give to the fans, and more about maybe branding and trying to just flood the market. I don't know how to articulate that, but I don't know. It's just a lot about. I feel like there's a lot of money involved, and I'm starting to worry that
I don't think that
she is
about money. I don't think money's the problem. You don't go buy the type of and have built the type of house that you have built, which isn't even a house, it's a resort. If you ask me, I don't think money is so much an issue. I think that with Lemonade, she really took us on this journey of what I feel a lot of Black people go through in relationships, and not that white people don't, but it's a little different with our culture. And she kind of spoke to us on forgiveness and all these different things through that album. And this particular album goes even deeper, and I think it's needed more so in a time like now, where we're dealing with, all the riots and different things that are happening in our world. So I think it's all kind of circling and connecting and making sense at the same time for me. I get that it doesn't make sense for you, and it makes sense. But money wise, I think you think there's an
underlying reason for it all. Like, if you're gonna put the album out, put it out and let it be what it is, and then don't try to repackage it as a deluxe edition, and it's only got one song that you've already put out for the public to consume.
I understand.
So, yeah.
Cool. Well, moving right along, Kiki Wyatt is pregnant with her 11th child.
11 children.
Go ahead on. I'm not mad at you. I'm not going to judge you.
I know people say, like, don't, you can't judge nobody and what they do, but, like, I feel like, damn, can we get an album? Like, damn, stop having all these damn children.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but some people... Okay, so this news actually today is all tying into this Brandy album as well for me, because I feel like as artists, and we'll talk about one of the songs in particular, as artists, it's really hard to... Sometimes you just want to be normal. Sometimes you want to live your life and you want to be left alone, and you know that you have to get material out there and you need to do things, but at the same time, you are just living life, and it's so hard to have this dream or these goals, if there's goals even set, out here, and this talent, I will say, that you have, and everybody has these expectations for your talent, but you also have to live, and you have real issues and real trauma and things that you are dealing with and trying to navigate through, which I feel like Beyonce talked a little bit about our culture, and then Brandy is now with her album talking a lot about, but we'll get into that, a little later. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like absolutely, like, move along with your family. Like, I get all of that, but I feel like that's one thing I've always had an issue with Kiki about, is I feel like she has this monstrous talent and is one of the best vocalists, period. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the masses will never really get to know because of some of her antics, but then B, she doesn't take long enough to really dedicate to her music and her craft because she is so focused on having children. And it's just like, golly, like, can we get like an album and a full tour and some promotion behind it? Just so, I just feel like her talents are kind of going to waste. Not saying that it's because of she's having children, but I just feel like she's not carving out enough time to really push her projects and stuff that she does have out.
I get it. I just feel when it's all said and done, we're still all human, and we still fall short in some areas. And I think when you have such a great talent like that, the expectation is for you to give something to us, and you may not always be in the place or have the capacity to be able to do that. And I think that's possibly what she's struggling with, because I've struggled with it. So, I get it. But moving right along.
Speaking of struggles, let's talk about Tamar Braxton, who recently, we're going to call it an alleged suicide, but if you haven't been keeping up on the music report card, you would know that Tamar, a few weeks ago, was found in her hotel by her boyfriend for an alleged suicide attempt. Recently, it's been, I think, Vanity Magazine did an interview with WeTV, who actually is working to cut all ties with Tamar Braxton. If you haven't been following the story, I'll give you a little bit of the behind the scenes. Tamar has been executive producing the Braxton Family Values, as well as a spinoff with Tamar and Vince, and she basically was feeling like she was portrayed in a negative light the last couple of seasons. Also, WeTV has, I don't know what the contract is, but did a contract with Netflix, and she's basically saying that the family is being underpaid and overworked. There's no money coming in from the Netflix deal, et cetera, et cetera. So all of these things piled up on top of each other basically made her have and this is so crazy that we're talking about this on the Brandy episode, because Brandy talks about just mental health and all of that. So, but basically caused Tamar to have a breakdown, and I'm sure she probably just wanted to end it all. And so we're just praying for Tamar and hope that all of the business dealings work themselves out so that she can move on, bring us some more music and all of that good stuff. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this week's album of the week, which comes from Brandy. We'll just call it Brandy. One name, shawty. Brandy. B7 is the title of the album. It's executive produced by Brandy, which is the first time this has happened. She did a little writing on all of the songs. Also executive produced by DJ Camper, which did most of the musical production. And R.I.P. to LaShawn Daniels, Big Shiz, who, in my opinion, is 90% of the Brandy sound that we know and love. So yeah, R.I.P. to LaShawn Daniels. So let's go ahead and talk about our favorites on the album. Do you want to go ahead and start?
Yeah,
all right.
I can. Saving All My Love. As soon as it comes out. As soon as I seen the title, I thought Whitney Houston off top. So it was just interesting how she put a spin on it, but still kind of incorporated. She had a line where she said, where she mentioned the GOAT.
Like the GOAT. Mm-hmm.
And Whitney Houston was in parentheses. Did she mumble that in the background? Because I didn't hear it.
No, I think she wanted to make sure that people knew.
Okay, got you.
That
she wasn't saying she was the GOAT. That she was saying
right.
that Whitney Houston was the vocal Bible. I got you. So, the song, to be honest, the song just, it was dope to me coming in.
I'll come back to you.
Because like we mentioned earlier in this video, I think everybody, she starts off saying, sorry for my tardy, like saying sorry that it's been a minute.
8 years.
Since the album has been released. But she just had some things going on, some stuff that she had to deal with and she had to live and she's trying to navigate through it all. And a lot in multiple songs, including this one, I believe, she talks about, did she talk about it in this?
I don't know, I'm just still stuck on the vocal Bible thing.
So, well, we need you to move on because is it on?
No. I just wanted to clarify that Beyonce, Brandy is known as the vocal Bible, not just because of her voice. It's literally like, if you've heard stories, you probably haven't because you're not a fan like that. But Brandy is so technical and so amazing that when she is in the studio, she is able to recreate her stacked vocals so great that the computer, will think that the vocals have canceled them to each other out. And it's like, she's so technical and so amazing. I've never heard that about Whitney Houston. Even though Whitney Houston has this great range, this great everything else, like Brandy is like a technical computer vocal genius, and that is why she has the title.
So the key word in all of that. So
we're not going to have any conversation about who is the vocal Bible and not Kim Burrell, Karen Clark Sheard, all of y'all.
The key word in there is computer. But moving right along, we'll continue on with the lyrics.
We'll let you have that. But
I mean, with the song.
Search Google and you'll see who the vocal Bible is.
So, as I was saying previously, Saving All of My Love in the Whitney Houston version is absolutely one of my favorites from her. But how she just spun it and said, like, I'm not saving all my love for you. Like, I'm not, no, it's not happening. But I'll let you go ahead and give your... I
love that song. And one thing I will say, and I'm going to just throw this out there in the beginning. As such a Brandy fan, I will say when I first heard the song, I was like, ooh, I don't know if this was going to be, like the move for me. But I will say that as time progressed and I listened to the album over and over, some of the songs that I felt were my least favorite when I first heard it have now become my most favorite. And Saving All My Love has definitely grown on me, and I do love the song. Amazing production from DJ Camper, and I do like that song. But can I talk about one of my favorites?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so when I was coming up with some of my favorites, I was trying to listen to like the album tracks, and I forgot about one of my favorite songs. And it actually made me cry when I first heard it, and that's Rather Be. The reason I cried is just because I just felt like, damn, Brandy is like really back. Like, it's been 8 years, and it was so contemporary, and it was so like the feel of the song just felt like, I don't know, like a island vibe. And I'm like, damn, she's never done anything like this before. It was so subtle and just so beautiful. The lyric, the emoting that Brandy, Rihanna, Norwood did on Rather Be is so flawless. Like, I felt like she was in love right now today, and she was just like, I'd rather be kissing you. Like, there's nowhere else I would rather be. And one of my favorite lyrics in the song is when she says, why you even trying to ignore me? There's other ways to get my attention. Like, he ain't even gotta do all that. Like, I love that song. I'm just gonna stay right there on Rather Be though. Whoo! Yeah. That's my joint.
You good?
I'm good. Rather Be is my favorite song on the album though.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
And I like Rather Be. When I first heard it, it grew on me. And I kind of had the same exact experience as Camarray, where I started listening and I was kind of like, I literally texted him actually halfway through and I was like, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm not all the way getting into this just yet. And then I got to, what was the song that I got to? No Tomorrow?
No Tomorrow.
No Tomorrow. I got to No Tomorrow and I was like, hold on now, wait a minute. We getting somewhere.
You'll get to know tomorrow.
But then I've listened multiple times now, and I definitely feel different. But my next favorite is Borderline.
Oh, I almost cried again for that one too. The video.
I think I love the video, but I think for me, what it is honestly, I think a lot of people struggle with mental illness and don't even know that they're struggling with mental illness.
Yes.
And depression, anxiety, all these things are real things that people have just learned to suppress. Yes. And because they don't want to put a label on things because it's negative. Mm-hmm. But it's a reality of who we are as people.
Yeah.
That we've all had some type of traumatic, not everyone, but I think a lot of people have had traumatic experiences, and those experiences have caused us to feel a lot of the way we feel, with the anxiousness and all this other stuff. So Borderline, I guess that's really what it kind of tied it all up. Also, when I watched the video and at the end when she actually had a statement there, just showing and pulling everybody in and saying like, this is what this is about. Yeah. You know, for me. So, and it kind of lets us know like, okay, this is maybe where you've been dealing and you've been healing and you've been trying to figure it out before you could give us anything. Yeah. So I love when people can put into their music real life stuff that people are really dealing with.
Yeah, and I think she was very vulnerable on the song, throughout the album, but definitely that song. And I think that it's important to note that one of the lyrics in the song says she's basically on the borderline because she's in love alone. Like a lot of people, I know a lot of women, but sometimes men too. It's like they go through these relationships and they're putting so much of themselves into the relationship, and it's like the other person is not reciprocating it. And for whatever reason, whether it's they're afraid of being alone or whatever the issue might be, it's like they're the only ones really giving anything into the relationship, and that will tear at you over time. And so I think that line for me specifically on Borderline, which didn't make my top 3, love the video, but didn't make my top 3, but I just wanted to point that line out, that is an important and very vulnerable lyric where I feel like people should be able to connect with Brandy on Borderline.
What's your next one?
All right, so my next favorite, and I'm toying with this already in my head, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there. Lucid Dreams. In that song, I think, again, one of my least favorite songs. When I first heard her YouTube listening party, I was like, "What is this?" But as I kept listening to the album, I was like, "This shit is hot!" Like. It's
the ending is where it really kind of buttoned it up for me.
And it just like, it's so like, I could just see like cruising down the freeway, like windows down, and it's just such a simple, easy riding, easy listening song. But then if you get into the lyrical content and the vocal of what she's doing, it's just like mind blowing. And yeah, I'm having a moment just thinking about it. Lucid Dreams is one of my.
Yeah, I like Lucid Dreams as well.
Yeah.
So my next one would be Bye Bipolar.
Oh, I have something to say about that, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. What you gonna say?
I'm just gonna say the last couple of lines in there, like, was so bossed up. Like, I feel like she needed that for herself, where she was like, "That's why I lost your ring, and you can keep your last name." Like, what? Like, she was letting it know, like, be known, like. You just wanted 15% of half of my moves, like, but all the stuff that you did, like, I lost your ring. I didn't even get your ring back. Like, I didn't pawn it. I lost that shit. Like, that's...
Yeah, the feel of the song was awesome. The lyrics throughout the whole album, I mean, are awesome. But the feel of that just really allowed me to kind of marinate in that and reflect.
Yeah.
And there's so much healing, I feel, as we know, in music, and that's why I like that song. It kind of has this healing feeling to it, where you can just kind of marinate and just deal. If you've moved on, you can just live with that for a little bit, and just heal.
Yeah. My next and last favorite is, if I don't love all the songs, would be No Tomorrow.
You don't love all the songs, but go ahead and talk about No Tomorrow.
That's the only one that I don't. But my No Tomorrow is special to me because I feel, not just in relationships, But I feel like me as a person, I relate to that song because she's basically like, I'm gonna blow your phone up like it's no tomorrow, and I do that with a lot of my friends, like even like friends, relate whatever it happens to be. Like I'm really what's the word I'm looking for? I'm very
Annoying.
call it that, but I'm very
intentional.
I'm very territorial with my friends, so I feel like I don't know. I just related to that song, and I love the melody of what she's doing. It's very simple, but the note choices that DJ Camper is doing, like on the keys, like she's just followed, and it's like I want to sing a little bit because Brandy makes me sing. Ooh, I'ma blow your phone up in case there is no tomorrow. Ooh, that
Ain't gonna be
good.
no tomorrow sounding like that.
Ooh! Yeah, I love that song though. But go ahead. Last song for you.
That's it. I already did my last song.
You did?
Yeah, Bye Bipolar.
Oh, okay.
That's mine.
All right, so I guess it's noted to be because we're gonna get into.
Let's talk about your least favorite.
Yeah, my least favorite is High Heels, and I love that she put sy'rai on the album. She sounds like Baby Brandy, but I feel like there could have been a better song choice for her maybe to be on. The song is starting to grow on me, but I feel like that's one of the missteps. And another, in my opinion, misstep of the album, I feel like the interludes could have been used a little bit to a greater advantage because all my life's kind of just coasting.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on
and
that.
she's had some amazing interludes, like from dedicate, yeah, like all of that, like back in the day. Don't fucking. But no, she's had some amazing interludes from back in the day all the way up, and I feel like the interludes for All My Life.
They could have been a lot heavier, doper.
Yeah,
just have more to them. I agree.
Yeah, so those are my only downfalls for the album. So let's go ahead and give her grade.
Okay, we'll start with you.
Let's start with me. All right, so let's start with her vocals. I mean, you don't get a nickname like the Vocal Bible and, you know what I'm saying, have anything wrong with the vocals. I think she brought it. I will say now, even though I'm going to give her a 5, I feel a little bit cheated, Brandy Rihanna Norwood, because when I went to see you in North Carolina, she said that she was training her whistle register for this album and it was going to be on here. And I heard it like one time. So I will say I expected.
Where'd you hear it at? Because I missed it.
She did it a little bit on I Am More.
I missed it.
Okay, well.
It was kind of whistle-ish, but it wasn't like.
Okay, well, we know she can't do it. We'll insert the.
She wasn't in the cloud. She was like maybe like a high rise or something like that.
Well, yeah, that's the only misstep, or I guess you can call it a misstep, but vocally what is presented here is amazing. But yeah,
I gave her a 5 also. I think Brandy always comes through with the vocals.
Yeah, no question.
We've already talked about the Vocal Bible thing. I feel a little differently. However, I can't take anything away from what she is capable of.
Definitely can.
And she definitely came through.
Absolutely.
So I gave her a 5 as well.
All right, lyrics. I feel like, although there are no commercial songs, Baby Mama is kind of commercial in a way, but there's no real songs that, in my opinion, will like just smash Billboard, I guess, right out the gate, any pop hits or anything like that. But lyrically, I felt the vulnerability, and I think for me, the ability to connect that way, lyric-wise, is it supersedes any type of commercial success or anything that you can have. I feel like this album can help heal people from their inner demons and all that kind of stuff. We won't go too deep into it, but lyrically, I feel like this album is right where it needs to be.
I'll agree. An album that really helped heal me from Brandy, since we're talking about lyrics, was
Human.
Which is your least favorite?
No.
Oh, okay. So Human, I was a big fan of Human. I listened to Human, and it really helped me get through just see life in a different way.
I feel like that's what I mentioned to you before recording, is that I feel like this is kind of in that same lane where it's less commercial and more just I don't know, healing and helpful and
I could agree, but I think this Yeah, I get it. I think that she was just a lot more vulnerable on this, maybe even more so than Human. Human felt like it could be, like anybody's story, but this one I felt it a little bit more like this was her story, and this is her testimony through these lyrics, and so yeah, lyrics I gave her a 5 as well.
Production, I also gave her a 5, and I will say this again: I was not a huge fan of a lot of the snippets I heard in the early B7 stages. I was kind of nervous about her working with DJ Camarray. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like he's so almost incredibly insane, musically genius, and I didn't know how that would transfer with Brandy and her melodic tones and all of that she plays with. And so I was very nervous, not gonna lie. But I feel like DJ Camper, as far as production musically, and then mixed with what LaShawn Daniels was able to do as far as vocal production, in my opinion, hands down. Again, you can't knock them. I mean, these are some incredible talents, and it's like, how can you knock them? And they're at such a great level in their artistry and their craft.
I actually came through with a 4 for production.
All right.
I feel like to be honest, there were some great things happening, and I'm big on listening to music in headphones so I can hear what's happening with the pans, where things are coming in their pan to the right, and then they transfer over to the left, or they come into form or whatever. But to me, I feel like some of this I was missing some of the words that she was saying sometimes, and for me, that's a part of production where you have to make sure that those vocals really are sitting on top of the track a little more.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's mastered, it just really is in your face, and her vocals just weren't hitting me in my face as much as I felt like I needed them to.
Mm-hmm.
It still was. It's great production, don't get me wrong, which is why I came through with a 4.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still very important that those vocals slap you in the face and you really feel them. And I didn't feel like I felt them all the time. And I didn't feel like I could hear some of what she was saying, which is, I could say diction, but at the same time, it's also kind of production.
Yeah, and I want to go back to vocals too with another thing that I guess you could say, disappointed with. And again, we were only grading the album as it is, but one thing that I was a little disappointed with is when she first was starting to record this album years ago, she said I remember her doing an interview with Queen Latifah. She was like, I want to sing on this record, I want to scream. And I don't know if it's going to be her or on the deluxe edition, but she released Freedom Rings, which I felt was totally in that lane, where she was singing from her toes, and I felt everything vocally, even begging and pleading in some of those songs. I really felt she was pushing. And I don't know that we necessarily got that side of her either. And again, that's a little bit of a I don't know, as a fan, I'm just I wish there was a little bit more variety in how she utilized her vocal throughout the project. You can give us all these melodic, stacks and all of that. Give us some of this whistle register here. Give us this gut-wrenching vocal here, and so on and so forth.
So why did she get a 5?
Because she's the vocal Bible, and you can't. I'm judging it as a fan outside of what we have been presented. But if we're talking about what's on the album is amazing vocally.
Okay.
So,
but everything you said just kind of went against it, so that's why I was curious.
No. But again, think about, as a fan, this is what we were promised. But I can't judge this as a fan. I'm judging it.
You're just judging it based on an album. You were a little let down that you didn't get that.
Yeah.
But I feel like at the same time you didn't get that vocally. So.
But what's on the album vocally is amazing.
She still did a good job vocally.
She did an amazing job.
Still the vocal Bible.
Still the vocal Bible will forever reign.
In your book.
In everybody's book.
Not in everybody's book.
We'll
move on to the
We'll
Sonic
put
Buy.
some of the tweets in the situation.
Let's go on to the Sonic Buy.
She still will forever Brandy be the vocal Bible. All right, Sonic Flow, the sonic vibe of the album. You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, so I gave her a 4. And that is only because of the missteps I mentioned earlier. I feel like the interludes could have been used a little greater. The one little song that's not my favorite, which is High Heels. Again, you know, it's not the perfect album that I would have loved, and that Full Moon was for me, and Never Say Never was for me, where I just feel like everything worked. This one, I feel like 98% of it worked for me, and I feel like with just a few small tweaks, I feel like it could have been a masterpiece.
I gave it 4 as well. Honestly, I think the flow and everything was cool, but it did, when we got to those interludes, it was like, why is this even here? Like, why didn't you just put this on, make it one song, and incorporate it in there somewhere, because it kind of feels like a waste of time.
Yeah.
And waste of a track, for real.
Yeah. And interludes really aren't like a thing anymore, and so I feel like if you're going to
You
do
better
them,
snap.
they gotta be.
And you're the vocal Bible,
right.
so you should have snapped. So, yeah, we're gonna go with the 4.
I love playing this up, like this whole vocal Bible thing, because who else would?
So yeah, when we look
that's
at
another show.
What
We could let's have that. Let's do that
can.
another time. We'll really delve into the vocal Bible and who really.
Y'all be ready for this.
Consider. I think we should do that.
That'll be fun.
That'll be real fun.
Okay.
All right. So with that being said, Brandy's overall score is a 92.5, which gives her a drum roll.
Okay. With that being said, once we look at all of those numbers, it averages out to be a 4.625, which actually equals a 92.5%, which gives her.
Thank you. Drum roll. I always do it.
An A minus.
A minus.
So bravo.
Bravo, Vocal Bible, Queen Brandy, Slayana, Rayana Norwood. This has been a Music Report Card. We love you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with your friends. I'm Camarray.
And I'm Zaiah.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace out, y'all.
Yeah.